Hello, authors. I am looking forward to continuing my memoir story with you. And I'm going to show you my first middle, and then you're going to get to practice your first middle. If you haven't had a chance to do your plan and your introduction, please make sure you do your plan and your introduction first, and then you can continue with your first middle. Now, to write my first middle, I'm going to be bringing down my plan. So you have your plan on another page. I want you to review your plan of your first middle. Look at those key words and thoughts that you had jotted down that you wanted to include. And we're going to try to bring those down into our actual writing and just expand on them and elaborate. Today, as I'm writing my piece, I'm going to pay special attention to using some vivid verbs and strong nouns. A vivid verb, for example, is the word traveled. Instead of saying went, I use the vivid verb travel. It's a spicier, fancier word that the readers will enjoy. And instead of just saying canyons or parks, I used a strong noun, a specific noun, such as Grand Canyon or Zion. I gave the specific names. So I'm going to continue to do that in my writing piece today, and I encourage you to do that in your writing piece today too. All right, so I remember that I want to start it's a new paragraph, so I indented, which means I made the line come in a little bit here from the rest of my writing, right? We pushed it in to start it off. And I'm going to make sure that my first sentence here is teaching my reader what this paragraph is going to be all about. So visiting the Grand Canyon Oh, you seem to be stuck. Here we go. This took a minute. Sorry, boys and girls. Visiting the Grand Canyon has been on my bucket list since I was in 4th grade. I'm going to use that phrase bucket list quite a few times throughout as kind of a golden thread for my reader. It's like you're in 4th grade. When I finally, try capitalize I because I'm talking about myself. When I was going to say got there, but I want to use a vivid verb. So I'm going to use the word arrived. And I'm going to do an opener phrase here. And I'm going to put a comma. When I finally arrived, it did not disappoint. I remember looking. Oh, I was going to say looking, but I remember I had that vivid verb of gazing. So I'm going to make sure I use that vivid verb. I remember gazing down at and again, I could say river, but I'm going to be specific, and I'm going to say the Colorado River. And thinking that it looked like a snake slithering through the rock. And thinking that it looked like a, I'm going to say skinny snake. So use a little bit of alliteration with those S's at the beginning. Like a skinny snake slithering. Hear that another S with that alliteration and a strong verb there. Slithering through the rock. All right. Are you picturing that in your mind? After gazing down at the river, we'll use that word gazing again. Oh, you know what? Since I already said gazing, you know what? I'm going to use a different vivid verb. So I use some variety. That is a good word, but we want to change them up. So I'm going to say after peering, another word for gazing, After peering down at the river, I put my children. You know what? Notice I use that word put. And this is what good writers do. We stop and think, there probably could have been a better word there. I'm going to say plopping. I plopped my children up on the wall for a photo. And I remember that was a feeling of being scared. So I'm going to say talk about scary. Now, the next part I wanted to write about was that hike. After that short sentence, talk about scary, I'm going to add, it was also a bit scary to hike, instead of just saying walk, I'm going to say hike, to hike down the thin trail. Not just a trail, but a thin trail, so I can help you picture it in your mind. Down the thin trail along the canyon wall. However, using a nice transition here, it was also peaceful. I had that feeling of peace. Peaceful because the sun was rising like a giant ball of fire. My simile there, using like or as to compare it to something. The sun was rising like a giant ball of fire in the sky. Okay, so notice, boys and girls, that I used many vivid verbs and strong nouns to make my piece sound even more enticing to my reader and interesting to my reader, and helped my reader be able to picture the story in their mind. And that's what authors do, and I would love for you to give that a try as you write your first middle today. So bring down your plan for your first middle, put it into sentences, and try to include those vivid verbs and strong nouns. With the strong nouns, with if it's the name of a place, it will have a capital at the beginning. If it's the name of the person or place. All right, so I can't wait to read your writing. Great job.